It's time to release the mad dogs. Okay, right. It's saying take off with care. So that's what we're going to do.
Attitude mode.
Right, so take off with care.
Point updated.
Okay, right, so first flight today around Ashdown Woods. Yeah, nice place. This really is a nice place. Right, I just got to go into my settings and sort my payload out. Lets me fly further than 49 meters. Okay, so we're going to take you off, I think, over in that direction, I think. Yeah, I think so. Just going to have a nice little comfortable cruise through the woods. Just to see what there is, really. Okay. Right, so we're shooting on good old 1080p at 60 frames per second. That's good enough for what I do, to be honest. You can shoot in 2.7K and 4K and whatever else, but to be honest, my old PC at home, poor old thing now, it's about 15 years old. It's an absolute trooper, I tell you. It does struggle with anything more than 2.7K, and I really don't want to be doing too much more than that. 4K, well, just forget 4K. It's never going to sort the old 4K footage out. You just cannot move the files through quick enough. That's the problem. Right, so what I tend to, for all you newcomers out there, so this is going to be a bit crazy, okay, what I tend to do. I just like to fly through the forest, nice, low and slow with my drone, just to see what there is. So this generally lasts about 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, the whole video. And it's just a really great way of seeing the countryside, seeing the woods, just going to places where you wouldn't normally kind of go, really. I tend to talk about some different things, you know. It's a bit wacky and it's a bit wonderful doing this, but it's, as I say, it's a really good way of kind of exploring a forest floor, really, because these things can go where footsteps normally don't go. Yes, so we might see some interesting things. You never know, you might see some deer or something. There's quite a few in and around these parts, it has been known. This is kind of not your normal way of going around a wood and exploring your local forest or your local wood. Ooh, but I do find it a great way of doing it. Yeah, it's just a different experience, really. Go around these places. Really does test your old drone flying ability, let's say. I hope I'm getting better at it. Although I do crash oftentimes, so if I do come down once or twice, dear people, then it's not going to be life ending, for drone ending, let's say. Okay, the worst you're going to get, as I say oftentimes, is a broken prop or a broken prop guard, which is easily fixable, but nothing kind of terminal to it. I mean, I find this a safer way of flying a drone than, say, you would do if you were, let's say, belting around, an urban landscape or something. Because obviously there's lots of things you can, if you're going sort of fast, and it's inevitable that you can have a few incidences when you're flying a drone. It's just the nature of the experience, really. But anyway, this is just a very nice pastime which I've kind of discovered. Nothing new, but I like doing it. great way to escape the rat race. The rat race, as they say. Yeah. And it kind of ticks the boxes for me anyway. And I hope you get something out of it as well. You see the wonderments of nature. Great way to escape the world for a while, let's say. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so yes, so my last video was kind of interesting, wasn't it? I did speak my mind about a few certain things, let's say, which I think's a healthy thing to do. I think we've all got, you know, our little thoughts about, you know, you hear the news and they present to you a kind of a story, and then it's sort of down to you to make sense of it the best way you can. Oh, hang on a minute, it's just over there, and for some reason I've just lost signal. It should come back online any second now, I'd have thought. Hopefully it will anyway. Here we go. Yeah, so you listen to the news, and they're giving you kind of like news items, and then you are trying to figure out, in your worldview, let's say, what's going on. You can obviously listen to what the newscaster is saying. The newscast, the BBC and the rest of them, they wouldn't lie to us, would they? No. Why would they want to do that? And the newspapers, why would they want to lie to us? Well, I don't really want to get into that, to be honest, because that's a long and convoluted kind of a conversation, going down that rabbit hole. But let's just say sometimes things just don't add up. What's going on in Russia at the moment, or Ukraine, really, you won't hear much about that. Basically, because the Russians are winning over that war, and I think in maybe 5 or 6 months' time that might well come to an end with a Russian victory. And I don't believe that Russia are the big Satan they're actually made out to be. I think to be honest, I think we are that big Satan. I think the CIA and I think the American government and the British government have got a lot to answer to. My opinions once again. And, you can shoot me down, but, I can speak my mind to a certain degree. Obviously, there's certain things I can't say for fear of my channel getting flagged or even just disappearing overnight or something. But I do believe that there are vested financial interests working here. Let's just say that it's not to our betterment. It is definitely for the betterment of those people who are actually in control. Okay, it's beep beep wants me to come back now, so I'll bring this thing back, and then we'll probably carry on, and then we go for another little flight, I think, in the woods, and whoops, just see what else we can see. Okay, so we've had a slight impact. Nothing major. I think it may have just clipped that one there, I think, enough to bring the drone down. Let's have a quick look at it. If there's any damage to the prop guards, any damage to the props. No, we're okay. Got a red light at the back, but that's not a problem. We'll stick a new battery in, and then we'll fly again. Okay, flight number two. Ashdown, had a bit of a coming down there. There's no problems with the drone. Everything is fine, gimbal's okay, props are okay, prop guard's fine, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to take you off, I think, over in that direction over there, have a bit of a scoot around, see what there is, slow and slow. Let's see something kind of amazing, let's say, or the wonderments of nature. Ashdown Wood has to offer. Yeah. So I do get a bit political sometimes, don't I? I don't always trust what the government tell us. I don't always trust what the media outlets are saying to us. I do think that they are controlled themselves. I think there's an agenda going on which I don't think's very good for you and I, put it that way. But there we go. That's just my take on that. Some of you might disagree with me, which is fine, absolutely fine. We've all got an opinion. We are all entitled to our opinions, and I respect them. Yeah, but there are some alternative opinions out there to the let's say
updated.
to the established opinions, so that's just my kind of take on it. Anyway, things a bit closer to home regarding my kind of work situation. Well, it's very apparent now that the Taxi Licensing Authority are not going to give me my taxi license, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a bit of a blow. Literally a 20-year business is now kind of finished. Lovely bluebells around here, look at them, eh? So one of the reasons why I'm out here is just to kind of come around here and to look at those. Just amazing. Lovely carpet of violet and blue. Wonderful. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Lovely day as well, really nice day. Anyway, so I'll tell you how corrupt some of these government establishments actually are. I'll take you back to 2015 when my mum passed away. We used to use our mum's house as our base in the village of Shrivenham, which is in the Vale of the White Horse. Okay, that's important. To have a private hire company, you've got to have a base in the district where you want to kind of operate from. And Mum just so happened to live in the district, so we used Mum's house as our base, which was fine. Mum unfortunately passed away in 2015, and my brother, who was kind of looking after my mum, was living there, but he found the place a bit difficult, really, a bit too big for him, so he decided to sell up, which he did. He then moved out of the district, which meant that we didn't have a base for our little taxi company. So I had to have two meetings with the Taxi Licensing Authority, the same authority I'm presently having issues with right now. So the first meeting was to take my money for my private hire license, and they knew what was going on. Okay, the second meeting was to talk about the actual issue regarding having a base in the actual district. Now they knew that the issue, they knew our issues. Okay, so the first meeting was that they took my money, £300, and the second meeting was to tell me that I could no longer have a base or operate as a private hire company within the district. So they took my money, and then they told me on the second meeting that, sorry, but the license you got is null and void. So why didn't you tell me that in the first place? And I was a bit upset and a bit angry about that. Obviously, like visibly, I was annoyed about that. And I said to them, right, so what am I going to do then? They said, well, your option is either you get yourself office in the district and operate as you are. That was going to cost an awful lot of money for premises, so I thought, no, can't really do that. The second option was to go Hackney Carriage, which is fine, which is what I did. So I got myself a Hackney Carriage licence, which, again, the price of that was about £300. And I said to them, look, so I've just basically spent £300 on my private hire licence, which you're now telling me is no good because I haven't got a base. They said yes. I said, well, that money I've just spent then, I'll now use that towards my Hackney Carriage licence, and I'll buy it with that. They said, well, no, you can't do that. I said, why not? And they told me that, well, now we've issued you your private hire licence, we cannot redeem the money to you because we've issued it to you. You know, I thought that was really, really underhand and crooked what they did to me there. And they know perfectly well what was going on. So in one meeting they took my money. In the next meeting, which was half an hour later, they said, well, the money, you know, the license we just given you is no good. And the money which you just paid is no good either. That's been paid and spent. You're not getting a refund. Therefore, you've got to now pay another £300 for your Hackney carriage licence. And that's the people we're dealing with. They're absolute out, and to me, they're just out and out crooks. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I don't really want to give them my money, because what they're saying to me now is, well, I've got to do all these courses. I've got to do an English speaking test. I've got to do a driving assessment. I've got to do a knowledge test. Well, I lived in the area all my life pretty much. I've got to do a disability awareness course, which is kind of okay. I don't mind doing that. But even if I do all those courses, and they won't guarantee me this, even if I do all those courses, they will still turn around and they will say to me, sorry, but you're not getting your licence. So I said to them, well, I'm not going to spend all that money and do these courses if you're not going to guarantee me my licence. And I said to them, surely to God, you can actually, you know, say something right now. I'll do, if you can guarantee me my licence, I'll do the courses. But they said, well, we can't do that. So basically, they're just covering their backsides to say further down the line that basically you're not going to get your licence, but thanks very much for giving us the money for the courses. You're not getting your licence. There we go. Anyway, got a bit of a gimbal problem here, as you can see. So I'm going to bring it back and land it and sort it out and see what the problem is, because it shouldn't be doing that. Oh, hang on. I think it's sorted itself out. Okay. Well, we just carry on flying then. We're at 55%. So just come over here. There we go. Back to myself. Right. Okay. We're just going to let it go a bit more. So that's basically the people we're dealing with there. You know, absolute crooks. You know, they know what's going on. They take your money. I didn't think they would do that, but I'm wiser to their tricks now. I've wised up to how they operate these government departments. You know, they're completely skint and bankrupt pretty much, so they need to figure out ways how they can actually create revenue, and that's just one way how they do it, by inventing all these, you know, rules. Oh, you've got to have you've got to do an English speaking test. Well, not really, because I'm native to England. Oh, you must do a knowledge test. Well, not really, because I'm 58 years old and I've always lived in the area. You know, so well, they basically shot themselves in the foot because they're not getting my money, and I've kind of shot myself in the foot as well, because I'm not going to go through with it, and even if I did, I'm not guaranteed my license, so I'm just not going to go with it. And there we go. Anyway, so I'm looking for work right now. I have applied again this morning for another job, a night porter's job in a hotel up near Burford, and I haven't heard back from the company which I went for a job interview with last week. Still waiting to hear back from them. I'm not sure what's happening about that at the moment, but I feel as if I really need to do something fairly soon, just for my own kind of financial reasons, and probably more important than that, for my mental health. You know, because I'm a bit of a workaholic, or I used to be when I had my own taxi business. I didn't understand what the word no was, even at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, when people needed to go to the airport and things. You know, I just used to work so hard at my business, and it's all I basically knew. You know, driving taxis. I've been doing it since I was 28 years old, 26 years old, I think. You know, you're trying to teach me new tricks. It's a bit difficult when you're coming up to your 59th birthday. But I think all that's open to me now is kind of night portering jobs, because nights to me fits in with my dogs, because my wife works in the daytime. And if I was to get a daytime job, then basically the dogs would be left on their own all day, and that would drive them absolutely cranky. So I need like a night portering job, basically. 33%. We go round again, I think. Yeah, so that's what I basically is a night job. So the wife works in the daytime. At least I'm home, you know, probably asleep, I guess. Oh, hello. Ooh, hit something then, but I think we're just about airborne, I think. Gimbal's doing something funny again. Okay, I'm going to bring it back because we're down to 30%. I can't get the gimbal any higher than that, so I need to bring it back and just have a look at it and make sure it's okay. Okay, we do that then. Okay. Right, let's see what this little chap's up to then with its gimbal. Okay, right, okay, what's up with you then? I'm going to turn you off and turn you back on again. In fact, I'll put a new battery in it and we'll fire it up and see how we go with that. Okay, right, so we'll take off once again. I think the gimbal's okay.
Attitude mode. Attitude mode. Fly with caution.
We'll find out. Right, flight number 3 then. Let's go and have a look at Bluebell Wood, shall we? I think the gimbal's okay. I just think it had something maybe stuck in it. I don't know. A bit of dust or something, I guess. I'm not sure what it was, but all seems to be working fine now. Anyway, let's have a bit of a fly over towards the Bluebells.
Attitude mode. Fly with caution.
Okay, we'll fly with caution, shall we? Okay, right. Bluebell Woods time then. Yeah, so there we go, guys. You know, the governments are supposed to make life a little bit kind of easier in a sense, you know, for the population. They're supposed to work for us. But it just seems, you know, they're just a money-making quango really for the government. But, you know, to take my money the way they did and then to tell me literally half an hour later that, sorry, but, you know, the money you just spent is useless. I mean, if you did that in a shop, you know, think, okay, well, what you bought is, we can see that it's not working and it's not to your satisfaction, therefore we shall give you your money back. Oh no, not with the government. No, they make the rules, and that's it. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. There really isn't. Absolute out and out crooks. Sorry, if you work for a government department, you might disagree with me there. I know you've got legislation and stuff like that, but it absolutely stinks. You know, they knew our situation regarding our mum, that we had to leave, we didn't have another premises, so they take me in, take my money, and then on the other interview they say, well, no, what we just gave you is no good to you, sorry about that, but you're not getting your money back. Great, you know, fantastic. You know, as if life wasn't tough enough as it is. And what they're doing to me now, I mean, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I made one mistake had a bit of a senior moment. I forgot to renew my license.
Attitude mode.
And
fly with caution.
And they just basically just put me on the dole. They put a 58-year-old guy in the dole with no qualifications regarding anything else, and now they just chuck me under the bus and just letting me, well, I don't know really, suffer, I suppose. There we go. Bit of a whingy moany kind of a flight this one, guys, isn't it? Anyway, there we go. Speaking my mind. Yeah, that's what I want to do, is speak my mind. There we go. We've all got tails of woe, haven't we? To me, this is just blowing off steam. You know, I think we all need to blow off steam from time to time. This is kind of the way I do it. Yeah, we all got different ways of... I think if you bottle it up, then you're going to have a bit of a serious problem regarding mental health, regarding heart attacks or whatever else, you know. It's not going to be healthy for you. So I think getting these things off your chest is just a way of the body releasing the toxins which is in your system, you know, which is what we all need to do. Get rid of these nasty toxins anyway. Right. Right, back into the Bluebell Woods then. Let's have a little look over here, shall we? Dive in there. Whoops, a daisy. Go in there, shall we? Anyway, I did hear something on the news this morning. I accidentally, on purpose, listened to it because I'm kind of interested in the whole Iranian-Israeli thing. Apparently, Israel have done something. I don't know what it is. I just heard a headline. I've not investigated it. But apparently, Israel have done something to Iran. I'm not sure what that is. But probably it's not going to be good. We're probably one step towards the pathway to some kind of a major conflict, which is probably going to bring us in closer to World War III, I suppose. You know, if Iran get involved and Israel get involved, which is what's happening right now, what happens then is normally is that America come to the aid of Israel, going against Iran, and then Russia will then back Iran with China, and then we come on in the side of America, and before you know it, there's a whole shit show going on, and basically anything can happen. Anything can happen after that. I tell you, the whole world is just absolutely freaking nuts right now. It's absolutely nuts. It really is. It seems like we've got a load of psychopaths in control of the planet. That's what it seems like. You know, and yeah, you know, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather. These things do concern me. I'm sure they concern you as well. You know, I just think one day we're going to wake up to a huge, great bloody explosion, then literally, that's the end of it. I mean, I do hope not, but I just feel that might be the case. I mean, I don't know. Whoop. Oh, great! Look at that. Last five meters, and down it went. Anyway, there we go. I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at this. I was turned around to look at my drone, and that's what it did. It just caught that there, I think. Just that. That's all it needed, just to catch that, and down it went. I think it's still filming, actually. Let's have a little look, shall we? Are you still filming? Are you still filming? Hello, anyone home? Yeah, it's still filming, isn't it? Anyway, there we go, guys. Sorry about the ending there. Wasn't too great, was it? I can see I've got one broken prop. So I think super glue and cotton wool to the rescue on that one. And we'll see what else is, you know, any issues with it. I can't see anything obvious right now. But there we go, guys. Anyway, that's it. End of flight for today. Right, let's have an inspection, shall we? Got one broken one there. That's not a problem. One broken one there. It looks like the cotton wool didn't quite hold on to that one there. So I'm going to go home, chop all that off, and then renew it again. Yeah, that's not looking great, is it? As for the drone itself, yeah, that's fine, no problem with the drone. Tough old thing, absolutely. This thing's an absolute Trojan, I tell you. Brilliant little drone. Anyway, we'll pack him away. I better take the prop guards off first, hadn't I? We'll pack him away, and then I'm going to go for a little walk. And if anything else comes to my mind, then I'll probably talk about that. Okay.